Good morning to you all. Before I have a little talk about the telephone I'm showing, I'm going to mention something, putting it out as a warning. I was caught, and I feel a bit annoyed about this because I would never play this trick on anyone. What we see is an item which I thought, yes, this is exactly what I want to add to my selection of phones around the world, or telephones around the world. And this is a model which I remember many years ago, when I was somewhat younger than I am now, and remember how well made these phones were. There's the quarters version. Several makers or several names of this particular type of phone did turn up. I think it was about the late 60s, 70s, but they were very popular. And as I say, they were handy to use. If you were in the garden or somewhere like that, you could take the phone out, and if you had a call, the handset, which is this part here, would ring and you could answer the call. The keypad in those days was loop disconnect. So I thought, right, well, the seller said this was working. Well, if someone is said to be working, it means to me that that phone would be in the condition that when it was sold, meaning working means working. Well, anyhow, I thought, yeah, I'm going to get this. It was not too expensive, and I bought it. Anyhow, the phone arrived, and I thought, God, I was excited. I thought, let's have a look, see if it's all working. What a disappointment. Wired it all up, plugged it into the telephone socket and into the mains, because these use the mains power to work. And I thought, that's gonna work, but not a sausage. Dead as a door now. All right, the various lights lit up, indicating charging lights, and that's as far as it went. You heard nothing when it was in the operating or call mode, not a thing. If you rang the number, okay, in all fairness, the base station would make a noise, and you had a flashing light on the handset, but no sound, completely dead, and any interaction between the base station and the handset and vice versa, forget it, it didn't work. It was completely useless. All right, all the bits were there. Whoever had this phone previously, and there was a name actually on the box printed up, well, not printed but written on the box, so it was obviously owned by someone in the past, and he or she obviously looked after it very well, because there's no cracks, no damage. It's in beautiful condition. The only problem is that it don't work. Anyhow, I was not very happy about this, and likewise I've put a comment back to the seller, which I don't think they're going to be very pleased what I've said. But I've said the truth. I detest liars, and this was a blatant lie to me that this was working. Obviously trying to get the quick sale, hoping that I was going to do nothing about it, wasn't going to work. No, but I'm not. I'm not a wealthy person. and I thought, no, why should I lose out? So anyhow, that's what happened with this phone. So I mentioned this. If you see stuff advertised anywhere, not just on eBay. All right, granted, I use eBay, and in perhaps 90% of the stuff I bought on eBay has been good. There's been failures, but this, in my opinion, was a blatant lie. It was working. No, it wasn't working. The battery I checked later and put a new battery in, fully charged, and no, it did not work. The old battery was faulty in as much as one of the cells was completely dead. So you weren't getting the full voltage out of the battery. So it didn't work. So I thought, well, the new battery probably will work. I ordered one off of eBay, checked it out, it gave the correct voltage, put it into the this phone, and nothing at all. So if it was one thing that was wrong, oh, I could probably excuse that, but no, there was more things wrong with it. So a blatant lie, and no, I wasn't pleased, and I'm afraid they got a negative feedback from me. I don't like giving negative feedback. I would much rather give a nice feedback, which I normally do, and people will probably confirm that I've bought stuff from, have said, oh yeah, I've given a good clear write-up, perhaps a little bit longer than necessary. And I've also mentioned that I do the telephones of the world. So if anyone wants to check up on YouTube, they can. Well, anyhow, this unfortunately went completely wrong. I will say that in the meantime, I was so disappointed with losing this not working that I ordered another phone, another cordless phone, and I'm still awaiting it to arrive. And that too, they said, was working. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that that one will work. Funnily enough, it uses the same battery pack as this one. So the new battery, I should have a spare battery for the new phone, or the newer phone. I think it's a Panasonic. It's a later one than this, and is on both tone and loop disconnect calling. So we'll wait and see. So further updates when I get it. Any comments on this I might have. But as I say, be very careful buying stuff. There's so many things can go wrong. Always check you get a good write-up. And obviously you can only go so far. If they say the phone's working, then you expect it to be working. You're not a mind reader. So if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Anyhow, coming back to another telephone, I might have shown this in the past. I haven't taken it completely to bits. Let's turn him over. I took the base cover off, and that's what you've got. You've got your bell and terminal strip. There's the base itself with a number in there, if you can see it. I think it shows up. Yeah, upside down. There's the number on it. On the back of the base, it's like a printed bit. Anyhow, showing the insides again, you've got your terminal strips. I think I rewired this because the cable on there looks like the type of cable which would have been on the early 700 types. Grebe cable, is it called? He's got something, it sounds like grebe. But That's what this cable is, I'm pretty sure. Obviously that's the handset, and that's your line cord. So I've had this phone quite a while. Probably one of the first ones I had in the collection. I'll show you the front of it. And yeah, it's made by Siemens Halske, as you can see. And handset on the cradle. Handset off the cradle. Dial works, but it doesn't work with the handset on, which is like the other Siemens phone that I showed. This one obviously goes back quite a few years, probably 1930s, I would think. The handset itself, it's a good metal type handset. Okay, it can be cleaned up and polished and all that, but you know my views about that. Things, if they're old, they should, in theory, look old. And yeah, this is old. The caps are held on, they're screwed on actually, and then screwed down with a little clamp. So, and the other one there has got it's got like a bayonet adjuster. I'm not going to take those off. The cradle is also metal. And it looks like an cast aluminium part under there. So the phone's all working. You can see the base. And the front of the dial's obviously got the name Siemens and Halske. Halske was more or less one of the brains behind Siemens when they started up, and you'll often see that name not just on telephone stuff, but heavy electricals, tramways. As I say, they were virtually the first, or the first name associated with Siemens. And yeah, he was the brains behind a lot of the things. The dial is possibly, and I haven't taken it out, I don't want to take the back off. I'm not sure how to, and I didn't want to do any damage. There's the back. Once again, you got the name with the typical trademark S with the H. You also get SS Siemens Schukerk. Siemens Electrogen SE, so, but this is the one they use on the phone, Siemens and Halske. The dial would probably be the Siemens type, which I've mentioned before. All right, I haven't taken it out, so I can't be 100% certain, but I would think it probably is. Obviously, if they invented this type of dial, then there's no reason to think it wouldn't be that. And obviously, this dial hasn't been changed. This is completely original. And as I say, it does in fact work. Well, it did. It hasn't been tried for many, many years. This was one of my first ones. No diagrams. As I say, I'm slowly, or not so much slowly, getting through the telephones in the collection, and I'm going to slow down a bit because I'm going to run out of them. I might obviously duplicate some of them. This one could have well been put up many years ago. But anyhow, that is more to say. Any comments please make. Called, it's called Grebe cord. Someone will correct me on this, but I remember when I first started with the GPO, as it was called in those days. The 706 had just come out. It had been introduced before I joined the GPO, because I remember that phone was in use where my father worked, and it was a new phone then, so it came out before I started with the GPO. But anyway, I did know or notice that these were the type of cords the phone had, particularly the handset. It was not a curly cord. I think it was called a grebe cord. It means I don't know, but that's what they use. And all right, this one has been red and blue. So yeah, that's more or less it. So any questions, please ask. I will keep you updated with what happens about this. Okay, you know, if it was sold as seen and it didn't work, okay, I haven't got a leg to stand on. But when they said the word working, that to me tells me that that is working, or at least it should be. Anyway, enough said about that. I'm probably boring you all. So I'll pop this up on YouTube. Just give a little warning also. This is the, I think the second, just checking, the 2nd of November, and we're expecting some very windy weather. It hasn't arrived yet in the London area, but we've been promised it, so this will be one way of reminding people of the time that I'd done this video. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up now. I've nearly run the battery out on this little camera. So thanks again. Sorry about my little rant early on, but it's put out there as a warning. When you buy stuff, always read the description or the information saying whether it's working or not. You've then got a lever or some way of getting back. And I hate lies. I don't tell porkies myself. Well, I hope I don't do porkies myself, but it does happen. And I suppose in this day and age, when money in a lot of cases is very short and things are very expensive outside now, heating, lighting, everything's expensive. People obviously want to get the best buck that they can, and I suppose this is the reason why porkies are told. Anyhow, I'm going to shut up now. So once again, thanks. Thank you.